Hello, YouTube. Let's check your mic. I just ate this delicious food that I made. So, hello, hello. Oh, it's connected. It's fine. All right, let me go live on my other pages. And today we're going to talk about it's not your fault. As you know, we always talk about adverse childhood experiences, right? We talk about childhood trauma. We talk about the healing. Hi everyone. Hello TikTok. Hi Facebook. Hello girl, hold my hand. Hello Instagram. Hi everybody. Welcome. Santa Yala. Santa Yala. I know that's from Gambia. Santa Yala. Hi everybody. Welcome. Today I've decided to talk about it's not your fault. We're going to talk about it's not your fault. Why should we talk about it's not your fault, right? Here, if you've been here before, we talk about childhood trauma, adverse childhood experiences, basically most of the trauma that we have gone through in our life and the things that stop us from being the people or the person, the human being that we know that we can be. Let me turn this off. I don't even know if Instagram can hear me because my headphones are still on. It's not your fault, right? For the people that have been here before, I've talked about how these days I've been working out a lot more. One of the things that I enjoy listening to is motivational speeches and motivational videos, right? Not for the motivation, but for the transformational messages that are in there. And one of the things that I kept hearing over and over these days that I've been listening to these videos is it's not your fault. Whatever happened to you in your childhood is not your fault. Whatever trauma that you've been through is not your fault. Because as children, we don't really know what is happening in the environment. And so we picked up ideas, ways of being, behaviors, perceptions, right? Mindsets from our parents and from our environment. And most of them, they didn't even know that their ways of being is toxic or it is damaging or is bad for them first. And then they give it to us, which sometimes it is called the generational cycle, the generational traumas, generational poverty. These are all ideas that many of us picked up from childhood and we still move with them. My lips are a little bit dry and I cannot find my, I think it's here. Right? So, whatever has happened to you, it is not your fault. There's no need to blame, even though we can. At some point, we do. We can blame our parents. I have. We can get mad and angry with our parents. I have, right? But at some point, it's our fault. At some point, it's our fault. I'm hearing people saying, why is it our fault? How is it our fault? Right? The healing is our responsibility. The being better is our responsibility. The getting over the pain and the hurt that we went through is our responsibility. It is up to us to do it. It is up to us to make that happen. Our dreams coming to life is our responsibility. And the moment we don't make those things our responsibility, we don't take accountability, then it becomes our fault. Now it's our fault. Is that making sense to everybody listening? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Hello, Bonner girl. Hi, hi. Right? So, the beginning, when we were born, we came clean slate. Of course, we have been given some of these things, these generational stuff from our parents and all of that. We've been given those, right? But we still came clean. We didn't come with our names. A lot of ideas we didn't come with. A lot of behaviors we didn't come with. And then, depending on whatever environment that you were raised in, wherever you are from around the world, because I know a lot of people watch me from around the world, whatever you are around the world, whatever's going on in your environment and the people that you're surrounded with, that's what you picked up. There's no other way. For example, my family, a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. And I didn't know that, but I picked up all of those. I've said here before that I had to go to a point where I fall in love with my mother. Even though my entire life I've been running away from that thought, didn't want to be like her, didn't want to look like her, didn't want to think like her. Because from 5, 8 years old, I saw already how destructive things were. So my entire life, I've been running away from that. And that's part of my trauma. But I had to go back to loving her. Why? Because I look exactly like her. When I saw her pictures when she was my age, it's like looking at myself. And so during my healing journey and transformational journey, I had to realize that if I didn't fall in love with my mother, I would forever hate myself. Why? Because she hated herself. My entire childhood up until this point, I can tell and I know that most of the things that she did in her life, she hated herself. I did not want to be like that. But at the same time, I had to love her. Because if I didn't love her, I would have continued hating myself. I hope this is making sense, right? So first, for the people who have talked to me or asked about starting their healing journey, gaining back their confidence. Hi, Shonda. Hello, Nos I am. Right? Gaining back their confidence. Nos I am is the brand owner of the shirt I'm wearing. I changed it into my workout gear, right? Because I've been working out and wearing my workout stuff. You can find her everywhere on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, right? To get yours as well. It's a women empowerment brand. So for those who have been asking me about gaining their confidence, healing themselves, getting to the place that they want to be, I'm talking about things that I have done and the road that I have taken to be here. Even though I know that I am still not where I want to be. It's not a destination, right? It's a change of mindset. So like most of the greats would say, from Les Brown to Jim Rohn to Tony Robbins, and I have heard also Coach Stormy talk about it, if I remember correctly. It's not necessarily about where you're going or the destination. It's the matter of the person that you become, the person that you change into. So from the beginning, it's not your fault, but at some point, if you don't take care of whatever's hurting you, the pain that you're going through, what's stopping you, you don't get to understand what is stopping you from being the person that you know you can be. Now you become a victim. You have a victim mindset. You victimize yourself. When you victimize yourself, you attract friends, boyfriends, relationships, partners, both business partners as well as any other partner. Every relationship that you come across will victimize you, because mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you are already victimizing yourself. The mindset, right? Yes, Bona, the mindset that we carry around. Now it becomes your fault. That's why if you listen to a lot of people from motivational videos, I just came across, oh, what's his name? I forgot his name. I can't remember this guy. But you hear a lot of people say it's your fault. It's your fault you are not where you want to be. It's your fault that you are still toxic. It's your fault that you have no money. It's your fault that you are who you are right now. The idea behind that, and a lot of people don't understand that, because the moment somebody says it's your fault that you attracted that relationship, it's your fault that you are in an abusive marriage, abusive home, whatever, people start to get defensive. And being defensive, it's still a coping mechanism, because you're still not taking accountability. If somebody says it's your fault, they are giving you a way out. They are helping you out. Another one of the reasons why a lot of people hate Andrew Tate is because he says that it's your fault. It's your fault. But know one thing: the moment you stand back and look at your life and you say to yourself, it's my fault, guess what happens? Now you can change it. Now you know what to do. You've taken accountability and you've taken responsibility. It's my fault that this happened to me. The good and the bad. The good is your fault, the bad is your fault. Now you stand back and say, it's my fault. This is my fault. People love me, it's my fault. People hate me, it's my fault. My family is this way, is my fault. My family is not this way, is my fault. You take complete responsibility as it is my fault now. What that happens is now you start to understand your trauma. Now you start to understand why your family is the way that they are, why it is not your fault that you were born in this family. Now you start to understand everything, and that gives you a way to change your situation. Because if you are not ready to say it's your fault, it's my fault, then you cannot change your situation, because then you'll be waiting for your mother to change. You'll be waiting for the government to change, to bring some money or whatever it is, right? For some of the people that are in the African continent, I've spoken to a lot of people, and they say, oh, it's the government, they're not doing this for us. Oh, it's these people, they're not doing that for us. Oh, African leaders, this, and that. But that is still playing the blame game. Because we have to get to the point where we're not looking at the government and the politicians to do things for us. Now we take responsibility of our life and say, okay, what can I do on my part to change how I am living? How can I use my pain and my hurt and transform it into purpose? Right? not wait for people to do it for us. There's this idea of getting found. A lot of us know about this. And me, being in the fashion industry, is talked about a lot. This person was discovered, this person was found on the New York subway, at Times Square, 34th Street, at the mall somewhere. And so a lot of us stand back and wait to be discovered. We're waiting to be discovered. We're waiting to be found. We're waiting for somebody to give us whatever it is for us to change our life. We're waiting for people to do something for us, right? People, a lot of people around the world, they've been given this idea that if they don't leave their home country to the Western world, they cannot change their life. They cannot be better. Or that they have to wait for their family that's in the Western world to send them money, to do this for them, to do that for them. These are all ideas. We call it the matrix programming, the conditioning that we've been given from school, the home, to the jobs, the television, and whatever you name it. So it starts from not being our fault. But then by the time you are 30, 35, even 25, you haven't started to ask the question, who am I? Why am I here? Why do I speak the way I speak? Why do I act the way I act? Why do I talk the way I talk? Why do they say Christianity is the best religion? Why do Muslims say Islam is the best religion? Good day, Afrocentric, right? Why is it said Buddhism is the way? Why all of these, you're not asking any of these questions by the time you're 25, now it starts to be your fault. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and you're still waiting for something, anything. Now it's your fault. Let's pick a card. And we pick one card, right? What should I do? Which one should I do? Should I do the Isis goddess? Let's do the Isis goddess. That's a good conversation for it, the Isis goddess. Pick one card from the Isis goddess to close it. The accountability and taking responsibility is the hardest part. I'm not saying this is easy, even for me. It was a difficult thing to come to terms with. Because we want to blame somebody. Is it not easier to just blame someone? To blame our family, to blame our mom, to blame our dad, to blame the environment that we were raised in, what people told us, right? A lot of people say that we will never make it. Ismaila. Which Ismaila? Girl, where have you been? I have been around. I've been doing these lives for a while. Where have you been, Ismaila? Right, Maisha? It's a lot easier to blame everyone. Some of us, we were told that we will never make it in life. I don't know about you. I was told that. Friends told me. And when I say friends, I'm talking about someone who didn't have a place to stay. This was years ago. And I had a little basement apartment. And I shared it with them. Going through the darkest point of my life. And this person had the nerve to say, well, this is why you will never make it. I believe that. That hurt greatly because there was a childhood friend. My own parents, my mother specifically, told me over and over that I would never make it. that the things, the dreams that I had, and the goals and the things that I was working on were useless and aimless. Why? Because I didn't want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse or whatever it is, right? In most parts of the world, if you are not a doctor or a lawyer, you are a failure. Isn't it so? So for a long time, I believed all of these things. For the Gambians who knew me while I was still out there in the world doing the work that I was doing, that I'm still doing, and I absolutely love, even at that point, I was fighting for my life, fighting for that pain and hurt and my own mental issues, because it didn't matter what I did. The only voice that I heard was, you will not make it. You will not make it. The dreams that you have is useless. If I continue believing that, now I become a victim and it's my fault. But the people telling me those things, they themselves have not realized their dreams. Maybe some of you might relate to this. Okay, let me get the card. It's easier to blame others than it is to work on self. Absolutely. It is absolutely easier. Self-reflection is not easy. But the fruits that comes out of self-reflection, it's nobody can take those from you. Nobody can take your mind from you. Right? We can't control the world. We can't control what people say, what people do, how people act, the ideas that people have of us. We can't control any of that. But we can control our own mind. That's probably the only thing that we can control, our own mind. Right? I've been listening to Andrew Tate a little bit more these days because I'm in the content creation and AI campus in his school. And he would say, you cannot even control your own health or your own well-being, because you can wake up one day and have a disease from nobody knows where. You can go outside and get hit by something. You never know what would happen to you. But your mind, your mindset is the one thing not only can you control, but nobody can take that away from you. Regardless of what is happening in your life. All right. Isis, goddess, talk to us. Shuffling, shuffling, shuffling. Let's do one or two more shuffles and see if something will come out. All right, mama, 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 one, mama, 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 mama. This is a beautiful one. The top one, I don't know. Hi, Jennifer. This is a beautiful one. Lady of the Stars. Is it Sirius? Sirius is the celestial goddess, a star of unconditional love and wisdom at an extremely high vibration. She brings deep soul awakening, spiritual gifts, and a high capacity for divine service. She asks you to pay attention now because something significant is taking place at a spiritual level for you at this time. At the back, I like that one too. It says life restored. Oh, the designs on these cards are just amazing. Life restored. Spiritual resurrection is gifted to you now. I've said this before that for me, when it comes to the idea of resurrection, It's a matter of coming back to life. Us, human beings, us. Because most of us are the walking dead. We're alive, we're walking, we're going and doing stuff, but we're dead. Our soul is dead. Spiritually, emotionally, we're dead. We could be dead because of our religion. We could be dead because of what society is saying. We could be dead because we just believe that we can think for ourselves, that everybody and everything else have to think for us. Whatever part of you or your life you thought to be dead is being revived and will flourish back into life. Which is why if you check the banner that I posted, hard facts, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad it's resonating with you. If you check the banner that I posted about going live, I always put helping you come back to life. Why? Because I know how it feels to be out in the world, but deep within, I feel dead. Anybody? Like I feel dead. When I was deep into my depression and anxiety, I would wake up, get dressed, go outside, pick up my daughter from school or take her to school, look absolutely beautiful. By the time I come back home, I wouldn't know, I wouldn't be aware of what I did and what happened. What is this? Sorry for the noise, but I'm nearly done. I wouldn't know what happened. Walking dead. Just as the phoenix arises from the fire, transitioning from death into life. Can you hear me? How is the sound? I have no idea what's going on outside and I have the windows open. Just as the phoenix rises from the fire, transitioning from death into life, so too will you rise again, healed and renewed. Yes, you can. Oh, thank you. Okay, so let me read that part again. Right? Spiritual resurrection is gifted to you now. Whatever part of you or your life you thought to be dead is being revived and will flourish back into life. Just as the phoenix rises from the fire, transitioning from death into life, so too will you rise again, healed and renewed. What's coming to mind when I was reading that is that many a times you see maybe one or two people who are considered egotistical. Now it can go to a certain point, right? For example, not Muhammad Ali, the other boxer, Tyson, Mike Tyson, right? When he was in his prime, he had ego. Sometimes, if you're from the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, and you're able to raise yourself up, you have an earned ego. A lot of people that we like and we gravitate towards and we enjoy listening to, their fire, their conviction, and all of that, that's the ego. It goes to a point where they have earned it. Now, it can destroy as well. But if you're able to bring yourself back to life, when you see people who are still victims, you don't have patience for them because you're thinking, come on, let's go, let's go. Why? Because you have been dead before and you brought yourself back up and you brought yourself back to life. Not just by listening to these people, but I remember that happening to me myself. It still does. When I speak to people, now I'm not an expert. Well, I don't consider myself an expert. I don't consider myself a spiritual anything. I just say that what I learn, I bring it out to the people because it goes to a certain point you can't keep quiet anymore, right? I felt like I had an out of body thing that I was watching myself speak. And I kind of lost track. But yeah, so you're talking to somebody. You will see it with people often. They're talking to you, or they're talking to someone or whatever it is, but the person is still in their victim mindset. Oh no, but I cannot this. I cannot that. They don't want to do this for me. They don't want to do that for me. Now the person is getting frustrated and agitated. Like I'm telling you, come on, let's go. I mean, this is how you. Anybody get what I'm saying? And then you move out of there and you think that's a terrible person. Oh, rich people have an ego. Rich people are mean. No, most times the issue is if the person was dead, brought themselves back to life. Poor, poor, broke, got themselves out of that, and they're now talking to you, and you're still in the victim mindset. It's very exhausting, and I've experienced that. The more I work on my mindset, the more I work on my spirituality, and somebody asks me a question or they want to have a conversation, and I tell them something, and they want to fight with me about that, given that I have been through that and got myself out of that, it's like I can't talk to you. So just have that in mind. I'm going to close now because they're doing some work outside again. The mosquito control, lawn care, is right outside my window. So I'm going to close now, and it's already 30 minutes. How you were raised, what happened to you, what you went through, is not your fault. If something broke you, it's not your fault. Getting back up is your responsibility. If you are still in a victim mindset, still have a victim mindset, it's your fault that you still have a victim mindset. It's not your fault that you are abused, but the healing is your responsibility. See you back here tomorrow again. Bye bye, everybody.